Hi, and welcome to this edition of Coach's Corner. Randy Dace is still on the disabled list, so once again, I'm John Bushman filling in. And our guest today from the Class 3A state football champion Franklin Indians, head coach Anthony Burgos, and two of his senior captains, Bruce Damon and Marcus Miller. Gentlemen, welcome to Coach's Corner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coach, I guess first, congratulations on bringing the first state football title back to Baltimore County since 2009. Now that you've had a couple of weeks, I guess, to digest the season and what happened, what are your reflections on kind of reaching the top of the mountain there?
Yeah, it's been a long journey, and particularly with these seniors over the last 4 years, really just trying to get back. Last time in 2010, they were freshmen, so our whole focus was, really just trying to, rally the whole community, the whole student body around us, and just try to put together, the best team possible.
Now, take me through the championship game. Pretty much once you got into the playoffs, you had a fairly, I don't want to say it's ever easy, but you handled, your 3 playoff wins prior to the championship game fairly handily. Take me through the championship game.
I think leading up to the championship game, we were really clicking on all cylinders. We had a lot of opportunities early in all 3 of those playoff games to kind of open the game up. I think with Ligonor, they provided us with a different challenge. Defensively, they weren't necessarily fast as a team defense, but they were very disciplined. So we really had to have patience and really just seize the moment when it came. So the championship game was kind of interesting. It went up and back and forth a little bit defensively, which I thought it would be. And then we had the opportunities to kind of open the game up and get that two-score lead.
Now, speaking of defense, Franklin's pretty much has had a pretty potent offense throughout the season. But when you got into the championship game, that became much more of a defensive type struggle. How did you approach that challenge there, Bruce?
Well, all season we've really been working hard towards knowing we have a high-powered offense. So trying to make our defense stand out and be able to give our offense back the ball so they can make things happen. So in the championship game, we kind of all just came together and we were like, all this hard work all year, it's come to this. So we wanted to leave it all out there on the field and show that we've been working hard towards this strategy that we put together, that our coaches helped us, get there. So we put it all together in the state championship game, and I guess it showed.
Marcus, what was it like stepping on the field there at M&T Bank Stadium for the state championship?
It just felt amazing, just to know that all of our hard work throughout not just the last month, not the last couple months, like throughout our whole lives, since we were 5, 6 years old when we first started, it just all paid off. Me and Bruce actually talked about one day, like, just how we used to play football in the backyard, like going up for a catch, this is a touchdown for the state championship, and it all really came true. It was a dream, honestly.
Now, Coach, if we kind of go back and look at go back to August, the beginning of the season, your program's been pretty successful since you took over. What were your goals for the season, and how did you approach the season?
We kind of went into this year, with the attitude that we had to really try to make a statement throughout the whole year. And I think these guys from the beginning of camp did a tremendous job of, one, our first major goal was that we were really going to have that team, that family bond on the team. And I think that was a big case in this year's team, is that from day one, like, the family atmosphere was there. I really felt like the players really enjoyed being around each other, really enjoyed working out together. So those were some of our goals. Then our other goal was just to kind of win one game at a time. We said, yeah, our major goal is to win the state championship, but in order to do that, we have to get all these little steps first. So, we went in with that approach.
Now, you started out the season, you had a tough game against Calvert Hall, which, started out with a loss, and then 2 wins, and then I believe Perry Hall was next. You lost that game. So 4 games into the season, you're 2-2. What was the mindset of your team at that point, Bruce?
Well, I kind of got separated from the team a little bit with an injury. So I was trying to stay with the team as much as possible, but also try to get back on the field. But the team was more looking forward to get back out there and show other people that even though we lost, we still have heart. We still can dominate this league. We can still show what we have. And so it was pretty much hard work ever since then. Knowing that we lost, we just had a chip on our shoulder.
And what was the message that Coach was telling the rest of the team during that period of time when you're 2-2 and you still have a lot of the season left?
After that loss to Perry Hall, it was all grinded out. Coach Agent, our offensive line coach, and Coach Burgos really put an emphasis on doing everything, all the little things right. Being on time to class, being in class awake, not doing anything wrong. And that's really what separated us from every other team that we played, is that we focus on doing everything right and not trying to just be great on the field.
Now, Coach, let's talk about your two captains here individually. What has Bruce meant to your program?
I think Bruce was, really like the life of the team, really making sure, he held everybody accountable. Obviously from a defensive standpoint, he was the heart and soul of our defense. When we lost him for those couple of weeks, you could tell our defense kind of was looking for a leader on that side of the ball. And so for that aspect, Bruce was that major leader, that guy who made sure everybody in practice was getting going, making sure that everybody was doing the right thing on game days. And like they said, in the classroom, that's a big thing for us, is that let's do things right all the time, on the field, off the field. And I told these guys, if we could do all those things right all year long, we'll be successful.
And Marcus, what's he brought to your team?
Marcus brought that unsung hero mentality, a guy who didn't necessarily have a huge junior season, a guy who was really just fighting to get time on the field, and then emerged into one of our top offensive players. So to me, his leadership in the weight room in the off season from last year, from the end of his junior season, going into this year, was what kind of carried everybody. He definitely led by example in the classroom, 3-5 student, did everything right as far as being on time, making sure that he was doing, in practice, he was practicing hard, he was doing all the necessary things in order to be a champion.
Guys, you've been with the program now for, you started in JV as freshmen and moved into varsity. How have you seen the program kind of evolve in the time that you've been with the program?
Since I was a freshman, I would say from that time, every year we've gotten closer as a team. And I mean, from my freshman year to now my senior year, I've been with kind of the same guys. So it's kind of good always seeing them. And then even new faces that come in, since we're already a family, they just blend in with us and we accept like everybody. And they all buy into our work ethic, which is always good. And I think the 2010 team really set it for the freshmen that were coming in and the freshmen that were already there. It really set the tempo for them to say, hey, we got to get on our game and we got to finish what they started.
And Marcus, what about you?
Bruce really hit it on the head. It started with 2010, and we all knew they were a really close family. They cared for one another, they looked out for one another, and with their loss, they also had each other's backs. And I think in 11 and 12, we kind of got away from that a little bit and got separated into our groups, our small friend circles. But this year, we really put a focus on everyone, hanging out with everyone, all the linemen being friends with the receivers and the skill guys. We focused on everyone coming together as a family, and it really showed on the field.
And Coach, they mentioned the 2010 season. That was the first time that your team had made it to a state championship game, and you came out on the short end. What, as a coach, what did that experience mean to you, and what did you learn from that you think maybe helped prepare you this past season?
Well, we learned a lot of lessons in 2010. One, I reminded this team, and like Marcus said, that 2010 team was really close-knit. So that was one of the experiences that I learned, that, you can have a lot of talent on the team, but if the guys aren't willing to fight for each other and they're not willing to do whatever it takes for each other, they're not going to be successful. The other thing in 2010, we learned that we had to prepare our guys. So from a coaching standpoint, we had to say, we have to prepare our guys for that big stage, that walking into M&T, that getting into the locker room, and really take it away from being a field trip and understand that, hey, it's another football game. You guys have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I think these guys did a tremendous job of seizing the moment and really, putting their name in history, not only state championship, but the first one in school history as a football team. So tremendous job by these guys.
Well, gentlemen, once again, congratulations on a great season. Hopefully, I know you guys don't really know exactly what your future holds, but I'm sure you've learned to work hard and towards every goal that you have set forth for yourself, and I'm sure you'll be successful in the future. And Coach, you'll be back next year, and I think you have a lot of people returning from this year's team, so outlook should be pretty good, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. These two guys are the two major pieces, and as far as the leadership, so what I'm going to challenge the 2014 team is that they, 15, that they really just kind of follow up on these guys, get the leadership going, make sure that they're willing to work hard for each other on and off the field, that they stay focused in the classroom, and and then we'll take it one game at a time, but right now we'll enjoy this one.
Great. Well, congratulations once again, guys.
Thank you.
That's all for this edition of Coach's Corner. Thanks for watching.